Good morning, you guys. So Snowflake released the what we assume is going to be the first part of Emily's information, where she is exchanging some text messages and telling her side of the story. There is apparently a video that is not included in this first installment. So that's why we assume that Mr. Snowflake is coming out with a part two. Anyhow, this has been out, I think, since about 7 a.m. Pacific. And Snowflake is encouraging everybody to go ahead and cover it as soon as possible rather than wait. So let's go.
I don't even know where to begin or start.
Hi everyone, this is me talking with Emily. Right, here we go. Hi Emily, hope all is well. What made you want to come out now and discuss your time with Amber? Honestly, I was content staying silent for a long time, but I'm tired of watching her dodge any real accountability. She creates her own reality and then expects everyone to play along. The sad part is most people do because they're either scared of her or don't want to deal with the drama. But I hit a point where I just couldn't sit back and watch her keep rewriting the truth. So I said,
I think there one thing that we really need to remember, first of all, anybody who's been following Amberlynn Reid knows that she has a history of abuse with her partners. But secondly, Emily, also has a bit of a sordid past. So for those of you who are new to this story, she was involved in a relationship with a woman who was over 1,000 pounds before she hooked up with Amberlynn. And that woman died from complications, obviously, from her weight gain. And she was bedbound, I think, the entire time that Tommy was her feeder girlfriend. And let's be clear about that, because that all came out last summer, that is her kink. That is her fetish, is being a feeder. And Amberlynn appears to have gained some serious weight while being in this relationship.
glad you have decided to speak up, so I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or were there any little red flags? She says, at first everything was great. I really thought I had found someone who was kind, laid back, and just fun to be around. She was able to carry on a conversation, and it's hard to find these days. Looking back now, I obviously was looking at everything through rose-coloured glasses. She really made it seem like she was this grounded, supportive person. I told her upfront that I was grieving Colleen, and still will be. She said she understood, respected that. She said it wouldn't be an issue at all. That was super important to me, for her to be accepting of it. And for a little while, it felt good. We actually had fun together. We laughed, joked around, and it was chill. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her before she started showing me who she really is. I guess it was a typical scenario of love bombing. After everything I had been through, it was just nice to feel wanted and not so alone anymore. And I say, was it still nice when she came to stay with you? How long was she meant to stay for? Emily says, there were a few little red flags early on, like how Amber would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day.
Yeah, so their relationship started in I want to say the end of June last year, while she was in the process of breaking up with another woman who was married. And she immediately jumped to Emily after that fell apart, and that woman's wife found out about it, and it became a big deal. And she wouldn't leave that particular. I think she called her Valentine or something, if I remember correctly. She wouldn't leave her alone either. And I think we all know people who seem to, just even outwardly, like for those of us who are not in the relationship ourselves, they seem overly controlling of their partner's time. And I think, at least for me, I've tried to also make sure that I'm not like overstepping um when I'm in a relationship. That, like, I mean, if we have a routine of contacting each other every day, I might be a little confused if I don't get a call the next day, right? Um and say, did I do something wrong? Like, what happened, right? Um are you okay? Did something happen? But Amber takes it to a whole other level, and we'll get to that.
Or if I was busy at work and didn't have time to message her.
Yes, I was very codependent with Destiny, and I can admit that. I can absolutely admit that. I will admit that 100%. I wanted either like a text or like a call just to be like, I love you. My day's been good. That's all. That's all. Because I was home alone 24/7. I'm not perfect. Beck wasn't perfect. Like, I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me, like always.
She'd take it personally and get upset. During my first visit to Oklahoma, things actually seemed to go really well. But it was a short trip, and we were still in that honeymoon phase. It was during my second visit that things started to feel off. She would get irritated if I checked my phone or responded to messages that weren't about her or focused on her. That visit also happened right after she posted who I was, and the doxing stuff that followed, so tensions were high, so I kind of brushed it off at the time, thinking it was just stress. But everything really started to change when Amber came to visit me. She was originally...
Amber, oh my God. I mean, like, okay, you made a life decision to become a YouTuber and do your work from home. And you've been very fortunate in this career that you can actually make money doing it. But you also then need to have your love interest present with you at all times during the day. Why? Don't you need a break? Like, I can't be around anybody that long. Not family, not friends, not lovers, nothing. Like, why would I want to have no space? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely no space. And Amber, I'm at home 24/7 as well because I'm disabled. When I had a job before I was injured, I at least had something to block out a lot of time of my day and, you know, have me with other people, have me doing different experiences. And so it wasn't so contained to a singular person where I was reliant on that one person to be there at all times. And I'm still, even now, living at home, I don't require that of anybody in my life. I couldn't imagine how desperate and sad you are that you've done this to not only Emily, but you have other ex-lovers who have complained about the same thing, including Beck.
Only supposed to stay for a week or two, tops. It wasn't going to be some extended thing. We were planning on probably around 2 weeks. I think she stayed like 3 months, wasn't it? 3 or 4 months? 2 weeks? Because
Yeah, it was months, and she certainly had a different idea in her head because she took something like a dozen bottles of perfume with her. She was only going to be there for 2 weeks. Were you going to wear a different scent every single day? How did you get it into your head that you needed to pack up? You had to rent a car, pack it up with so many things. Like you were going to move in with her and your animals and went all the way over there, and it was supposed to be a 2-week trip. That doesn't make any sense to me.
that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day two, I've only seen these. Was it last night? I haven't slept for ages, didn't I? I've only seen these once as I was talking to Emily. So I've probably forgotten most of it. Because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day 2 of her being at my house, things already started to shift. It was weird how high-strung she was that early on. Day 2. I don't know what shifted, or it was the change in environment, but she just acted off. She really didn't like that I had a life outside of her. I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. I have a family, friends, pets, a house to take care of. I have responsibilities, but anything that wasn't about her felt like an inconvenience to her, and she made that very clear. Well, by day 2, Jesus. I'd get home from a 12-hour shift, completely exhausted from a stressful job, and she'd get upset if I wanted to go straight to bed. She'd say things like, "Oh, you're not going to hang out with me," or ask me to take her to the casino or go shopping. And if I said no, she...
Oh my God, Amberlynn. Like, for real? I mean, the job that I was performing before I was injured, or while I was injured, because I actually got the injury on the job, was 10-hour shifts 6 days a week. And I had an hour and a half commute both ways to get there. When I got home, I was in for the night, you know? And I was winding down, getting ready to get enough sleep and rest my body well enough that I could do the whole thing again the next day. Like, how can you demand that of your partner who's working 12-hour shifts?
get upset and compare it to her working on vlogs all day. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone actually gave me the idea 3-minute vlogmases. Like, and if you go over 3 minutes, then awesome, that's amazing. At least you're uploading every single day, even if it's 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea.
Saying she still had the energy to do things, so I should too. Amber expected me to be constantly available. If I didn't text or call during my breaks, I'm sure we've done this with Destiny, or if I wasn't giving her attention constantly, she'd get upset or start a fight. I told her in the beginning that I need to be able to have alone time because that is how I decompress from stress. We've had arguments about that before. She visited too because she didn't like that. She would always accuse me of not loving her and say how terrible of a girlfriend I was. She wanted me to call out of work anytime she was having a crisis, or just felt like she wanted me to stay home.
Are you getting my text? I feel really sick and I am having an anxiety attack. I really need someone.
I think we all suspected that, talked about that. She was always in a bad mood because of this. If I did anything that didn't involve her directly, she would start an argument. I was exhausted trying to juggle everything in my life, on top of her constantly being mad at me. We'd get into arguments and she just wouldn't let anything go. She would gaslight, deflect, just typical narcissistic behaviour. It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep, because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before a shift. She came into the room and stood over the bed. Ugh.
I'm just really surprised that she didn't just, keep you locked and cornered into an argument all night and you got no sleep. Because if that would have happened with me and her, that's what she would have done with me.
She told me that if I wasn't going to finish the conversation, which was basically her going on and on about how I didn't love her and all this other crap, then...
By the way, he's going to use the acronym BPD a lot. This is not bipolar disorder. Her referencing her, using that as an excuse, which I don't believe she's ever been diagnosed with it, but she is referring to borderline personality disorder, which has the same acronym.
Said, fine. If I can't have peace from being able to have this conversation, then you aren't going to either.
Wow.
She would then stand next to the bed I was sleeping in and intentionally keep me up all night. I felt like this happened every time she knew I was going to work. Like she was intentionally keeping me up because she didn't like that I wasn't home instead of at work. Emily again? Yeah, this stuff was happening more and more frequently. And then I say, sounds like she didn't want you to work and just spend all day at home with her. I'm guessing she used BPD as an excuse for her shitty behaviour. How did I know that? She 100% used, your BPD. Her BPD as an excuse. That's what's frustrating me the most.
Imagine having BPD, unregulated, unmedicated, and finding out just betrayal. Like, you go crazy. Like, you genuinely go crazy.
Anytime she'd have one of her tantrums, she wouldn't take any accountability and say it's because she has BPD. And she'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. When she would literally scream at me about something, like taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would.
Did you really set a timer? I did a couple times. Yes.
Taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would. When I went outside to smoke. Alright, I told her she can't use that as an excuse if she refuses to do anything to help herself to get better. She made a lot of false promises of getting into therapy. She told me in so many different occasions that she was signed up and she never went. I remember a video of her saying, oh yeah, I found a therapist here in Wisconsin.
So I have actually found a psychiatrist / therapist who I'm going to be speaking to. I'm going to be calling. I have not called yet. I have discovered them. I have found them. I know about them and they know nothing about me yet.
And this is me. Yeah, I remember a video where she said she found a therapist in Wisconsin, and I thought, right, she's been awful to Emily, and this is her way of saying, hey, I'm going to get help. Because that's what she did with Beck a lot.
I tell you, there was a time I had a long distance relationship too, although it wasn't cross state. Well, I have had one that was like cross country before, but the one that I'm referring to was just the person lived a few hours away, right? But he would come down about once a week, and as my health was declining, I was becoming more and more tired. I was and I remember he was on the phone in the living room, and so I just lied down and I figured he'd come in, and then we'd have our bong chicka bong bong time, right? Like we'd have a good time. He never woke me up. He didn't wake me up. He just started like having all kinds of like office calls and stuff, and I was like, you didn't wake me up. It wasn't a fight though. It was just like, okay, well, we only have a limited amount of time, so I guess we're not going to be doing that today.
Work on myself, I'll improve. And it didn't last very long.
So I was going to see a BPD therapist when I was in Wisconsin, but they were located in Wisconsin. And I was wasn't thinking at the time, and I do not live in Wisconsin. I live in Oklahoma. So now I have to
No, but she was trying to move in. She was trying to move in, you guys. So, I need to be able to see my therapist, and my therapist is here in town, here in Wisconsin, Miss Emily. So, you don't want to interrupt my therapy when I'm getting better, right? Come on, Amberlynn.
find someone.
Just me again? So what would you do all day when you were at work? I'm gonna take a guess and say nothing. Ha. Lay in bed all day watching reaction channels. How could I have gotten that right? Yep, that was one of her manipulative tactics and staying longer when it was getting to the point where I was asking her to leave. She thought she would get a therapist here. I'd let her stay so she could do the therapy. She did a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. She'd sit around and watch YouTube videos, including reaction channels, all day.
Reaction channel, reaction channels, reaction channels, reaction channels.
Shocking, shocking. I did her laundry.
Yeah, she literally, when she was in the chat on TikTok trying to rizz up Sweet Tea last week, I mentioned, like some of her lore in the chat, and she said, "Oh, you're just stupid, you watch react channels." She, I guess, didn't realize that I put together react videos, right? Yes, I'm just stupid, Amberlynn. Okay.
Again, I think Casey did all the laundry.
Because me and my mom would do her laundry. I remember back then I would do her laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. Chris always does the laundry.
I cleaned up after her and took care of the pets. She won't ever let Twinkie or the dogs out during the day when she was home. So I'll come home from work. Oh yeah, I have to clean up Twinkie's pee off my brand new floor that I put in. I was really proud of that floor because I recently just put it in and I did it myself, which is a lot of hard physical work. Well, Amber knows about that.
She's claiming property damages because her dog pees on her carpet, and then Twinkie also was peeing on her carpet. They both were peeing on the carpet. Like, while we were sleeping, they both. So what I did was...
Yeah, but that was her dog. That was her house. You were a guest in the house. And you brought your filth with you and didn't clean up.
I bought this really expensive... I bought 2 of them. This really cool, like, gate type thing that she actually still has up. To block the, there was pee pads down as well, just for, like, at night when we were both sleeping, and they both had a mind of their own, Use pee pads, actually recently started using pee pads for when I'm sleeping. I have an elderly dog. It just happens. Dogs are dogs. Like, I tried to fix it, like, genuinely, and then I ended up buying a whole steam cleaner for her. Like, I tried to fucking fix it, bro. But it's crazy because she has this cat named Princess, which she keeps trying to throw out, by the way, on the streets, and I keep telling her not to. She really wants to fuck around. We can fuck around and find out. So I'm fucking done. Anyways, she has a cat that pees all over the fucking downstairs, on the carpet, on the chair, on the couch, on the clothes, on the this, on the that. So...
And this, by the way, these are just some clips of her spurging out this weekend. I'm still on friendly terms with my ex-boyfriend. And I was talking to him about this, and I'm like, if you're going to have a hit piece come out, because we both do politics, and if there's going to be a hit piece coming out against you, you try and find out what it is before you respond to it. Because what Amberlynn did this weekend was give us all kinds of details that Emily did not give. And so she incriminated herself even further in this abusive relationship.
Stop trying to fucking blame me and my dog for everything in your life, because I will literally come for you.
I'll come for you.
It literally ruined the flooring because the pee would sit there until I got home from work to clean it. If you remember one of her vlogs, she talked about her responsibilities of letting the pets out.
So on days that Tommy works, especially, like, I have the same, like, morning routine. I'll wake up, take the dogs out, refill cat food, dog food, water. It's just like every day, just my go-to.
That lasted about 2 days. This started a lot of fights too.
It's just back at home in Oklahoma, like, my routine is just a little bit different. So having to form another routine, here in Wisconsin is a little hard.
What do I say?
What do you mean it's different? You have animals. They need food and water to survive. They are going to evacuate their urine and feces. What's different? How is this different, Amberlynn? How is it a different routine for you caring for your pets? Is it different because there just happened to be another dog in the house and another cat in the house? But you were a guest in this house. And it sounds like she put up with a lot of bullshit from you.
Disgusting. Only time I remember her talking about her responsibility with the pets was when she did the video explaining how Rarity got out.
So usually I take the dogs out, and this curtain is usually open.
I'm sure she talked about that stuff before, but I just can't remember. Actually, before I ask you about Rarity, how bad did the tantrums get? What was the worst? If you're okay talking about it, if not, I'll shut my face. The tantrums slowly escalated each time. It started with just her shouting at me, to escalating to her slamming doors and punching walls. Anytime I tried to leave the room, she would block doorways. She was also really jealous. Anytime I talked about Colleen, I wasn't allowed to share memories or say anything about it really anymore, or she would end up getting really upset and pissed off at me for the rest of the day.
I know how much he loved Colleen and still does. Like, I fully get that. During arguments, she would literally tell me, "You're never going to be Colleen." Like, just saying how much better Colleen was. Like, I had to literally compare myself, and I was in competition with Colleen every single day of my life. Every single day that I was with her. But to continuously use Colleen as like a weapon, it became awkward for me.
It was really hard.
Well, perhaps we're not hearing the conversation in context, right? Was Colleen already a part of the conversation? Who brought her up? Was she talking about how much she misses her? She already entered the relationship telling you that she was still mourning the loss of her, because she just died in April of last year, you guys. And they were engaged to be married. So, I mean, Amberlynn, you had to know that you were the rebound here.
But the worst of the tantrums was actually the night before Rarity went missing. She saw me scrolling through my phone and there was women on my Instagram feed. She flipped out and said I was micro-cheating.
I got really fucking upset, obviously. Anyone, even mentally well people would have been pissed, would have been so fucking hurt. Probably marriages would have been divorced, like that type of deal, okay?
Well, the way she described it in her spurgouts this weekend is that she came across her Tumblr feed. And Tumblr has had issues with corn, shall we say. And we already know that Emily has this kink fetish, right? So she was aware of this. This is not new information to her. All of the React channels were talking about it. So, and she watches the React channels every single day. So it's not like she wasn't informed about what Emily was into, right? Did she weaponize the ex-girlfriend? I don't know if that's an appropriate thing to say, because what was the context of the conversation? How did she come up? right?
So we get in a big fight. Duh.
The argument escalated really fast. That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me.
And she ends up throwing the can at my car. Made me mad.
You saying if I could hit someone, I would? Okay. I can throw this at someone's head.
Did Amber throw a glass at your mom? Yes. She did.
Like, the fuck? I could take this and throw it? I'm just not a physically abusive person.
I told her I was going to leave the room. She then grabbed my arm and dug her nails into my arm to the point of drawing blood.
All I remember is she got mad and she grabbed my arm. Dug her nails into my arm.
I tried pushing past her to get through the doorway, and she pushed back into me and actually falling on top of me.
I remember I tripped over.
Yeah. I tripped. You fell into my fist, right? Like, that was the last live I did on this one last night. You fell into my fist. She has a history, a repeated history of getting physical with the exes, with the current, all of it. And, whew, oh, Amberlynn. I mean, you need more than just to be diagnosed with your BPD. It sounds like you need anger management and all kinds of shit. Because you simply can't treat anybody like this. Like, what you're doing is incredibly abusive behavior.
For her rug. I landed into her. She fell on the ground. And I'm like, as that's happening, I'm trying to get her. Like, she's falling. I go to grab her off the ground. It didn't work out very well. She still landed on the floor. And then she started, like, hysterically, how come you pushed me? I'm like, what is actually happening?
So Emily had an experience where she had a former girlfriend, the predates Colleen, who also was a very large woman, who fell on her as well in kind of a similar sort of situation. But it sounds like there was all kinds of, like, the interview for that one, I think, is on Oh Lordy, It's Jordy's channel. But she broke a rib when she landed on Emily. Was it an accident? I don't know.
So she, like, I don't know. It was this whole fucking thing. And I was like, this cannot be real right now.
I said, Jesus. She says, at that point, I was livid. I told her to go back to Oklahoma, and then I was absolutely done. And this is the night before Rowdy, right? Whoa, it just pissed her off more. She then grabbed a picture of me and Colleen and held it up and threatened to break it. She knew that it was something that would hurt me more than anything she could do physically to me. Like the lowest she could go, she let her apologise and then tried begging for me back. Saying that it was her BPD. There it is, At first, she denied that she did any of those things, which that's up to.
No, I never destroyed her ex's photo. This genuinely cannot, like, I have never been so gaslit.
And I'm like, am I just imagining the gouges out of my arm?
Yeah.
She apologized profusely when she...
This is about where I came in when he did the original broadcast this morning, because Sally and I were out getting breakfast and stuff this morning, and then I came in and I saw it was going on. So I came in, and I'm not a member, so I couldn't chat, but I saw a French fried girl was in there, and her comment was, "Oh my God," or something like that. It's like, broke the skin, drew blood. Wow.
Knew that she couldn't gaslight me into believing it didn't happen. At that point, I went to my 12-hour shift after that. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, then you went back to work, I said. Alright, here we go. After work, I didn't want to go back home. I was exhausted, drained, and didn't want to deal with her crap all over again. She had been blowing my phone up all day trying to apologise, and see if I would change my mind about having her go back home. Okay. After work, I went for a walk to decompress. She was not happy about that and was blowing my phone up asking me to come home. It was about 2 hours after my shift that I got a text from her saying that she couldn't find Rarity. She said she hadn't seen her all day but was just telling me this now. At that point, I came home right away.
You know, I kind of wonder why Emily at that point didn't do something like, I'm going to spend the night at a friend's house, or I'm going to spend the night with family, if she really didn't want to come home like that. But I don't know. She also is a single mom. Perhaps the child was at home. Who knows? Because that's one of the reasons the boyfriend I had previously, the long distance relationship, that was one of the reasons it was very difficult for me to get out of that relationship, was trying to figure out how to do it in such a way that it wouldn't disrupt my son's life.
Yeah, I figured she was just somewhere in the house, and she was just saying that to try to get me to come home. But after I searched the entire house, while Amber watched, she wasn't anywhere to be found. At that point, I moved the search outside. I was exhausted, but searched all hours of the night looking for her. I really thought I would find her that night, but it was no luck. I know there's text messages coming up in a second, I'm waiting for that. At that point, I made posters and hung them up all around town to local businesses. I think Amber even said Emily's basically doing everything.
Tommy has made like online posters and put it on different websites and like went outside and we've been like yelling her name.
Posted on social media and lost cat pages. Amberlynn's one job was to call the shelter to make a report. But when I called the shelter after they found a cat that was deceased, that kind of matched Rarity's description, it ended up not being her. The shelter told me no formal report was ever filed. The only info they had was the report from the Lost Pet database that I submitted. So at that point, I filed the formal report with the shelter with her description. But they could call if they had anybody turn her in. I'm sure when we saw the report, everybody was like, oh, Amber's got the age wrong of Rarity, and I'm sure there was something else wrong. I'll have to check. But I guess that would check out if Emily did it. Maybe she would get the details wrong because... So anyway, I think that fits. But I spent hours upon hours driving around looking for her, walking through fields and in between houses around my house through the snow. I think that's what everyone thought, yeah. Amberlynn would go in the drives with me, but obviously didn't do the walking around part. Again, I think everybody, said that. I would get so pissed when we were driving because she would have her head buried in her phone playing a stupid Farmville type game instead of looking out the damn window to find her cat.
I have this app on my phone.
Yeah, Amberlynn, at the point that Emily was making all these posters, in addition to putting them up at local businesses, which could be helpful, what was more important would have been to canvass the neighborhood that you lived in at the time, right? So you should have been the one walking up to those doors, knocking on the doors, and explaining that your cat got out. Have you seen her? Would you keep this flyer? If you see her, will you please call me?
It's a game. It's called like Harbor Gossip or Gossip Harbor. I don't even know, but I'm like obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with this game, Dice Dreams.
I loved Rarity, and she was a sweet cat that would always sleep on my chest. I did everything I could to try to find her. I can't say 100% that she purposely let her out, but given the circumstances, the situation doesn't look good. No, it does not. If it was a ploy to get her to be able to stay in Wisconsin longer, then I guess it definitely worked.
It was a lengthy stay that became lengthier because we loved being around each other, which then became lengthier once Rarity went missing. I was not going to leave her here.
See the text messages coming up 2 seconds. Me again. I don't know if you're like Amber and keep old messages, but do you have any messages from Amber about Rarity going missing? It's the one after this, right? Yeah, I do. I have the message of her initial reporting when she's missing, which is time-stamped. It shows that her story that she posted on her vlogs about being missing at 5 a.m. was not correct.
When it happened, it was 5 in the morning.
These are the texts between Amber and Emily. Amber says, "So am I leaving? Wait, I read that wrong. I also have moments where I snap at you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day." What time is this at? 10:06. "I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day." Emily says, "I'm afraid to come home, to be honest." Amber says, "I didn't go to the back porch." Amber says, "I didn't go to the back porch."
Uh-huh.
Amber made a whole demonstration video at the back porch explaining what had happened. But here she's telling Emily, "I didn't go to the back porch. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to cause you any stress. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room till you wake up for work." 10:26 p.m. If you didn't hurt me on purpose, why would you regret it? Get real. I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, "I regret anything I've done that has hurt you. I understand. Oh my god, Princess is out." Emily's cat. "Princess is out. She just went up the stairs into the bedroom." I was so confused for a minute. "Emily, can I ask you something?" "What?" "Can I have another chance?" "No." "So you want me to pack my bags and leave?" "Yes." "Check Snap, please." "I've been abused before, and I was dumb to have stayed with her because look what it led to." And Amber says, "I would never do that." I sent a whole video. It's taking forever to send. Anyway, there's the text messages. I'll make another video talking more about it, but I'll keep reading. But yeah, very different.
Well, and she projected all of what she did to Emily, saying that Emily wanted to get rid of her cat, Princess. Right? She projected all that while she's trying to manipulate her audience. And clearly here she was trying to manipulate Emily through all of these various actions using the animals that Emily loved and had formed relationships with to further abuse her. Amberlynn, for fuck's sake.
To Amber's demonstration video. Funny that.
We get in a really fucking bad argument. She leaves through the glass door, leaves the door open. I did not notice because I did not go near the door. I did not go near the door. I was sitting at the kitchen table waiting for her to come home. And that's when I noticed the cold breeze. Emily left the fucking door open. And she booked it so fast she didn't even close the door. It was just a lot. In my brain I was...
And she went out the back door, Amberlynn, into the backyard while her vehicle was parked in the front or in the garage or something. Your story doesn't add up, girl.
Thinking there's no way Birdie got out. We're good. You know, it's like one of them things. But it was the next day when I was like, something really just does not seem right. I haven't seen Birdie all day. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
I do take part in Beanstalk, and that is...
God, I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time. I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
Right, me next. Well, that doesn't look good. She made a couple videos crying about Rarity. Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is shite. I don't remember saying that. I mean, it's true. Her acting is shite. I've always thought that. I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. Nobody did that, not just me.
Right.
I was home for a few of them that she filmed. It was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying and put it on camera.
She just wanted to venture out. I know she just wanted to see. Like, I don't know where the fuck she is, and it's been just like literally. Sorry.
I even asked her, why would you film right now if you're this upset? Which she would get pissed, so I never mentioned anything about the vlogs. Yeah. She was obviously the expert and always knew what the right thing was to post. And I say, oh yeah, she's smashing YouTube. Right, slaggy bastard. Emily says, a person can only watch so many videos about Legos, choosy, and the occasional bingo session before boredom sets in. She really doesn't do a whole lot of anything. And then I say, I always thought her rarity videos seemed fake. Well, so did everyone, not just me, yeah. Usually when she knows she's in the wrong, but doesn't want to admit it, she's over the top and extra dramatic about things, yes. And she was definitely over the top. And I say, what was she like in the following weeks, or however long? What she said about rarity? Did she talk about rarity? Oh, may as well. Also, not to bombard you, but I'll ask while it's just popped in my head and I'm still awake. I just saw a clip earlier today of you and her at the Billie Eilish concert, whatever she's called. Still don't know. You looked miserable. We did talk about her because I was actively searching for her. She would say how much she missed her every once in a while, but she definitely handled it better than I would have ever if I lost my pet.
Oh, that makes me miss Rarity. I miss her so much. Sorry. Moment of silence.
She would cry sometimes, but she didn't cry like she did on camera about her. Oh, okay, right. I definitely feel like this was a huge distraction from the big fight that happened. Oh, yeah. It seemed to blow over faster than it should have. I wanted to keep it civil while she was here, while we were looking for the cat. That's when she tried signing up for therapy in Wisconsin to show that she was going to get help for how she acts.
I need to do therapy for BPD. So, I found a dude. Why did I say it like that?
We would argue on and off, though, but she was actively trying to minimize her tantrums. I bought those tickets for her well before this happened. They were really expensive, and because they were in a premium seat, I couldn't resell them. I knew how much it meant to her to see Billy, so I took her. I tend to forgive too easily. At me again. So how did you get her to leave eventually? Because she told us she left because she was a grown-up and had an apartment or some nonsense. There was something stupid like that, wasn't it?
What was the real reason you went back to Oklahoma and didn't stay in Wisconsin? Because I have a whole ass apartment. I have a whole life here. I love my apartment. I love living alone in a responsible way. I belong here right now. So that is why we're currently in a long distance relationship, but I do see us moving in together in the future.
Didn't make sense anyway. Also, again, while it's in my head and I'm awake, I bet driving her home wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I think that's when Mop Legs was born, wasn't it? The drive home. Bottom of her feet just mopping up the piss out of truck stop bathrooms. Oh, she's so gross, man. Oh. She couldn't keep up her normal behaviour for too long before her true self came out again, and we started arguing all the time. I finally got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and told her she's going back home. I drove her back home to Oklahoma myself instead of waiting for her mom to come do it. I don't know why she was insistent on making it seem like it was her decision. All right, why Amber was acting to us like, oh, it's my decision. Right, okay.
I don't want to talk about this, but I was in Wisconsin and I chose to come home myself because I love living by myself. Like, genuinely, Tommy didn't want me to leave. Tommy said I am welcome there forever.
Oh, it was 19 hours. I drove 19 hours straight through and flew home but the next day. It took that long because of all the stops she had to take. Oh, God, yeah. That was the longest drive of my life, figuratively and literally. Within the first hour of the drive, she was screaming at me so much that Twinkie freaked out and jumped under my feet on the driver's side floor. I was driving on the highway and I had to pull over because she won't come out. I don't even remember what she was mad at me about. I think it was a comment over me getting to choose the music.
Yeah, you have to be super careful with anybody who can freak out your animals like that. That was one of the telltale signs for me when I had the house guest who started becoming more and more hostile and aggressive while he was in my house. I noticed that my cat, Pumpkin, started hiding in the master bathroom behind the toilet. And I had never seen my cat do that before. So, and the house guest said that my cat bit him. And I was like, well, what were you doing? Like, you shouldn't be messing with my cat, you know?
On the radio since I was driving that long, and she wanted to choose to listen to.
Have you enjoyed the ride so far?
I do. I like it. Even the music, everything.
Even the music.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
We had a Billie
like
Eilish
Are you happy?
streak. Yes.
That's what
And I
matters.
appreciate you guys taking me.
That's what matters.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, this is her again. After she was back home, she tried ringing me back in, saying she was going to therapy and actively working on it, and maybe the distance would be good to help us eventually be able to be together again without the fighting. We had a lot of on again, off again stuff. I think we all knew that as well, yeah. Every time
Yeah, my cross-country ex did that as well. Told me that he was going to anger management therapy, and he was going to resolve all of these issues. And basically everything he told me was a lie, and I didn't find out until he was back in my life, under my roof.
I tried to cut things off after things were getting bad again, she'd always have some sort of health scare to bait me back in. Well, that doesn't sound like Amber at all, does it?
So they're doing everything they can. She was like, oh, it just means like you could possibly have a blood clot. That's why we checked your lungs. What? I'm itching so hard. I am causing welts.
Well, and then I say that she's done that on YouTube for years, gets found out or has some big drama, and then returns with, oh, hey guys, I have a new health issue. And also a poor Twinkie man. Anytime I've seen that dog on camera, they look terrified. I know why now. Again, I'm probably remembering wrong, but I'm sure Amber said she was on FaceTime with you when she was in a store with her mum when you ended it. Probably remembering it wrong. Sorry, probably am. How did you end it, and how did she take it? Both her pets would get scared during a tantrum. Wasabi would always run and hide in his little enclosed litter box when she would yell. I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for Twinkie too, being stuck inside 24/7. I had to say I have no idea about when or what time she's referring to about being in the grocery store. I might be remembering it wrong. Probably am. I had to end it for a multitude of reasons. She obviously didn't take it well. There was a lot of threats made of trying to ruin my life if I said anything publicly of her online.
So, you know, I'm going to fucking Snowflake. But if you share a video, which I have never shared screenshots of, if you share a video of me during a BPD meltdown where I'm half naked due to your betrayal, that's when suing will happen. Have some fucking...
Suing will entice. Okay. She is so similar to Chantel. Chantel exploited a child last weekend and then had a health emergency immediately afterwards as her distraction move to have her audience forget her major misstep, and has been off the grid now. I think that health emergency was twofold. Not only did it distract the audience from the bullshit she pulled last weekend, but she says that they are moving into Salah's family home right now. This also gives her an excuse not to help, not to do anything for the move.
It's a soft love. It's a soft love, it really is.
Yeah.
She still tries to reach out to me. Sometimes she's civil, and sometimes she's absolutely unhinged. You don't say.
Yeah.
Emily, again, She did do a lot of threatening anytime she felt like she didn't have control of the situation. I'm still worried she's going to totally lose it once she finds out I talked to you.
I should be fucking showering right now. I should be fucking washing my hair. I should be just fine and dandy. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right here.
Well, she went live twice, just before bed and when she woke up. When I watched that Beck and Destiny collab, I was shocked at the similarities. Yeah, it's the same MO, isn't it? Unless they're not giving all the details. I feel like she's gotten worse since then, not better. Maybe she was just rough on me because I didn't put up with her crap or fall for her manipulation. I do feel drained too, or have I missed the message? Sorry. Anyway, I think I said I felt drained just listening to it, so it must be worse for her. Do you feel drained too? It's not a time I like to think about or remember. It's all a lot. I appreciate you respectfully listening to what I have to say, so I can share my side of the story and not let her control the narrative. Is that it? That's it. I'm just glad they were in order. Like I said, the first time, well, the only time I've went through them is when I was talking to Emily, and then I quickly put them up, and then I've done this. Right, that is it.
Well, I mean, if the account, obviously you've got two different people. They have their different perspectives on what happened. Do I believe that Emily was abused? Yeah. Because Amberlynn has a pattern of doing this to her lovers. So, you know, it makes sense. And on top of it, Emily's like, well, maybe she did this because I was being difficult, right? So she's already trying to take some of the blame for Amberlynn's behavior. But Amberlynn has had previous partners who were very submissive and did what she said. And they were still mistreated in the same way.
Well, it's good. Well, yeah, it's it for now. Because I know she's gone live twice and blamed Emily for Rarity getting out. Yeah. And today, I only caught a couple of clips, but she seemed very smug. So, the end of this video was meant to be me saying something along the lines of, Amber, take accountability, like you didn't do with Beck. Take accountability, say sorry, and genuinely try and improve. And this won't go away, but it'll be the end of it for me making videos. And for Emily. Emily just wanted to get this off her chest. And this would have been it. This would have been my only video, and Emily would have been done. However, because Amber is super smart and acted very smug in today's live stream and blamed Emily, Emily is rather pissed. And now it's not the end of it, which it was gonna be. So we're not done. I don't think we're done anyway. From the little bit of conversation I had with Emily today, I don't think we are done. And there is more to come out.
Redeem Google Play Point.
Yeah. So yeah, just Amber shot herself in the foot by just having to go online and lie and act really smug. A lot of stuff.
She laid down a threat. I'm surprised that the video's still up. She laid down a threat. F around and find out. You don't want to mess with me? I mean, she was laying down some threats.
Yeah, you don't have to believe Emily. Loads of people won't. I'm sure some people will. But the messages, I'll just talk about it in a second. Yeah, there it is. So am I leaving? So she knows this is it now. Emily's not taking her nonsense. It's game over. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. This is at 10:06. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day.
10:06 p.m., I believe. 10:06 p.m. And she said that she was lost at 5 in the morning.
looking everywhere, but then also says I didn't go to the back porch.
Huh.
Okay. I didn't want to pester Emily too much because, like I said to her, it's draining listening to. I'm guessing people are drained listening to it now. So I didn't want to just ask her a million questions. But, like I say, after the smugness of today, I've said, look, if you want to find more proof about anything, go for it. Go for it. Go through your phone. Do an Amber. Go through your phone. Anything you like. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Emily is pissed. What a dumb move. Just come on camera, say sorry. And then Emperor just... I mean, we did it with Beck, didn't we? And I stupidly thought, I was the only one, I stupidly thought, oh, I'm going to get the arc I envisioned when I first started watching Amber. She's going to come good in the end. She's going to turn it round. Because she said she was going to take accountability. Mm-hmm. And I believed her.
Right.
And she obviously didn't and blamed Beck for everything. Just did what the clips I've seen of the live stream today, she did that with Beck. Just turned it around and said, oh, Beck did this. It was Beck who did all this. And yeah, like what I've seen today, oh, it was Emily. Emily did this. All right, okay. Anyway, there's your messages. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of it now. Just what a dumb move. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks so much, everybody.
So I'm going to put the link to Mr. Snowflake's video. This is on his channel, Under the Hood. Amberlynn was making some allegations, and I don't know because I'm not a member to her channel, and I don't watch her public videos directly, but she was stating that during her live stream, Emily was in there basically taunting her. So I don't know if somebody is going to cover that aspect of it. If it happened, was she overblowing it? Was it as bad as Amberlynn was making out? Or, like, first of all, Emily, you need to stay away from her, period. Like, you've already dropped your allegations. You got to stay away from her and her channel at this point. You can't go on and get in the chat and try and, like, fight with her live. You know what I mean? So please be sure to go to Mr. Snowflake's Under the Hood channel. Like the video, subscribe to his channel. If you liked my additional commentary, please like and subscribe to this video and my channel as well. And let's see what happens today, y'all. Take care. Happy weekend.